The Flying Magic Horse and the Two-Headed Giant.
Once upon a time, in the heart of a vast and enchanted kingdom, there lived a young prince named Alaric. He was brave and kind, with eyes as bright as the morning sun and hair the color of ripe wheat. Unlike other princes who spent their days in the castle playing games or dreaming of adventures, Alaric often felt a deep longing for something magical, something beyond the castle walls. Alaric's father, King Edric, ruled wisely from the grand castle of Silverleaf, a magnificent fortress perched on a hill surrounded by lush green forests and jagged mountains. The castle was known far and wide for its shining towers and enchanted gardens, but it was the princess who truly captured the hearts of the people, the beautiful Princess Seraphina. Seraphina was not just a beauty. She was intelligent, brave, and had a gentle spirit that touched everyone she met. Yet there was an air of mystery around her because the castle was her home, and none outside the walls had ever been allowed to visit her private gardens or chambers. Rumors spread that she was protected by magic, guarded by creatures unseen, and watched over by a secret, powerful force. The kingdom had seen many challenges, but none more fearsome than the dark shadow looming from the northern mountains. In those craggy peaks dwelt a terrifying creature, a two-headed giant named Gormak. Gormak was as tall as 3 trees and as strong as 100 men. One head was fierce and fiery, with eyes burning like embers, while the other spoke with a cold voice that could freeze the heart. For years, the giant had kept travelers from passing the mountains and threatened the peace of the kingdom. One day, as Prince Alaric strolled in the royal stables under the golden light of late afternoon, his eyes fell upon an extraordinary sight, a horse unlike any other. This magnificent steed was larger than usual, with a gleaming silver coat that shimmered like moonlight on water. But the most astonishing thing about the horse was its wings, broad white feathers that looked soft enough to touch the clouds. The stablemaster whispered, "This is Zephyr, the flying magic horse, born from the breath of the wind itself. It has been waiting for the one brave enough to ride him beyond the castle." Alaric felt his heart race with excitement. Here was the adventure he had yearned for. With careful hands, he approached Zephyr, who bowed his head as if recognizing the prince as his destined rider. That evening, by the light of the stars, Prince Alaric mounted Zephyr. Together they soared high above the castle walls, feeling the cool night air rush past them. Their journey led them toward the mountains where the two-headed giant dwelled, a place few dared to venture. As they flew closer, the giant's terrifying figure emerged from the mist, each head watching in opposite directions, searching for intruders. But Alaric was not afraid. He held tightly to Zephyr's mane and whispered, "We will find a way to bring peace to this land." And so began Prince Alaric's quest, a tale of courage, magic, and friendship that would change the fate of the kingdom forever. As dawn broke, painting the sky with hues of pink and gold, Prince Alaric and Zephyr glided gently over the dense forest that sprawled beneath the mountains. The night's flight had given the prince a new sense of hope and courage, but the journey ahead was still shrouded in mystery. The enchanted forest was said to be alive with magic, where trees whispered ancient secrets and streams sang songs of forgotten times. Alaric glanced down and caught a glimpse of sparkling light filtering through the leaves. Suddenly, Zephyr slowed his flight and circled down toward a clearing bathed in sunlight. Landing softly on the mossy ground, the prince dismounted and took a deep breath of the crisp forest air. The clearing was vast and beautiful, filled with wildflowers of every color and humming with the gentle buzz of bees and butterflies. In the center stood a crystal-clear pond, its surface shimmering like a mirror. Alaric was drawn to it, and as he approached, something magical happened. The water began to ripple and a figure emerged from the depths. It was the spirit of the forest, a graceful being with hair like flowing leaves and eyes the color of deep emeralds. "Welcome, Prince Alaric," the spirit said softly, her voice like a melody carried on the breeze. "I am Leora, guardian of this enchanted valley. Your heart is pure and your purpose just. But beware, for the path ahead is not only guarded by the two-headed giant but also by secrets hidden within the castle." Alaric's brow furrowed with curiosity. "Secrets? What do you mean?" Leora smiled mysteriously. "Princess Seraphina is not only the beautiful ruler of the castle, but also the keeper of an ancient magic that could save or destroy the kingdom. To reach her, you must first prove your worth by facing trials that will test your courage, wisdom, and kindness." The prince nodded, feeling the weight of the quest settle on his shoulders, yet also a thrilling determination. "Tell me what I must do, Leora." The forest spirit extended her hand, and a golden light swirled around the prince's heart. "Trust in Zephyr, trust in yourself, and remember that true strength comes from love and hope. Now take this enchanted amulet. It will guide you to the hidden gate in the northern mountains, the secret path to the castle's heart." As Alaric accepted the glowing amulet, he heard a distant roar echoing through the valley. It was the growl of Gormak, the two-headed giant who was stirring and sensing the prince's approach. Mounting Zephyr once more, the prince set off toward the towering peak of Blackspire Mountain. The amulet glowed brighter with each step, lighting the way through dark caves and narrow passes that twisted like a serpent's tail. Finally, after hours of flight and near exhaustion, Alaric spotted a massive stone door carved into the mountain's side. Two colossal statues flanked the entrance, fierce warriors who seemed almost alive, their eyes glinting with ancient magic. Holding the amulet up, the prince whispered the words Leora had taught him. "By the light of hope and heart so true, open this gate and welcome you." With a deep rumble, the gates creaked open, revealing a hidden path bathed in shimmering light. The air was thick with magic, and somewhere beyond, the hope of the kingdom awaited. Alaric tightened his grip on Zephyr's mane, ready to unlock the castle's deepest secrets and to meet the princess whose fate was entwined with that of the two-headed giant. Prince Alaric and Zephyr stepped through the glowing entrance carved into the mountain. The path was narrow and winding, with walls sparkling as if sprinkled with countless stars. The air humbly whispered of ancient magic, and the prince could feel the pulse of something powerful ahead. After what seemed like hours, the path opened into a vast cavern that stretched deep beneath the mountain. At its center stood a grand staircase made of crystal, spiraling upward into darkness. Alaric sensed that this was the way to the castle's hidden heart, the place where Princess Seraphina awaited, and where the true test of his courage would begin. As he climbed, the crystal stairway shimmered, reflecting visions. Battles fought long ago, dragons soaring through skies of fire, and a castle wrapped in protective spells. Each step gave the prince a flash of the kingdom's history, and the sacrifices made to keep it safe. At the stairway's summit, a heavy door adorned with intricate carvings barred his path. Two figures stood vigil, towering statues of fierce knights, each carved with such lifelike detail that Alaric could almost feel their gaze upon him. Remembering the amulet's power, Alaric held it against the door and whispered the words Leora had taught him again. The amulet glowed fiercely, and the door slowly swung open, revealing a bright room filled with light and colors unlike any the prince had ever seen. There in the center stood Princess Seraphina. Her golden hair cascaded like a waterfall, and her eyes shone with strength and wisdom beyond her years. But what caught Alaric's attention most was the gentle smile, as if she had been waiting for him all along. "Welcome, Prince Alaric," Seraphina said, her voice warm and melodic. "I have heard of your bravery and the journey you have undertaken. But know this, to save our kingdom, we must work together." Before the prince could speak, a sudden tremor shook the cavern. The walls echoed the terrifying roar of Gormak, the two-headed giant. He had sensed the prince's presence and was coming to stop him once and for all. Seraphina stepped forward and called upon the magic hidden within the castle. A burst of light surrounded her, forming a shield that glimmered like the dawn. "Gormak's fury cannot reach us here, but he will not stop. Together we must find a way to end his wrath and restore peace." Alaric nodded, his heart filled with hope and determination. "With your magic and Zephyr's power, we will face whatever comes." Outside, the storm of the giant's anger raged on. But inside the castle's hidden heart, a new alliance was born, one that would challenge fate, battle fearsome forces, and bring light to the darkest corners of the kingdom. As the echoes of Gormak's roar faded into the distant mountains, Prince Alaric and Princess Seraphina stood at the castle's highest tower, gazing out toward the shadowy peaks where the two-headed giant dwelled. "We must understand why Gormak threatens the kingdom," Seraphina said softly. "There is more to his fury than simple anger." Alaric nodded. "I have seen his power. He is not just a mindless beast. There must be a reason for his terror." Seraphina reached into a velvet pouch and pulled out an ancient parchment, its edges worn and ink faded. "This scroll tells the story of Gormak. Long ago, before our kingdom was born, he and his brother were guardians of the mountains. But a curse divided them, twisting one head into fiery rage and the other into icy cold. Their rage grew and they lost control, becoming the menace we fear today. The prince's eyes widened. If the curse was broken, could the giant return to the gentle guardian he once was? That is our hope, Seraphina answered. But to break the curse, we must find the crystal heart, a magical gem lost somewhere in the mountains. It holds the power to heal the giant's split soul. Zephyr neighed softly, sensing the gravity of their mission. Then we have no time to lose, Alaric said, mounting the magnificent winged horse. We will find the crystal heart and save Gormak, to save the kingdom. Together, the trio, Prince, Princess, and Zephyr, set out toward the ancient mountain caves. The journey was perilous, with twisting paths and shadows that whispered threats. Along the way, they encountered enchanted creatures, some friendly, others wary of the humans. With Seraphina's magic, Alaric's courage, and Zephyr's swift flight, they overcame every obstacle, slowly piecing together the legend of the Crystal Heart. One evening, as the moon cast a silver glow over the rocky cliffs, they discovered a hidden cavern guarded by glowing runes. Inside lay the Crystal Heart, shimmering with light that seemed to sing with power. But as Alaric reached for the gem, the ground trembled. Gormak appeared, his two heads roaring in fury and pain. "Please," Seraphina called out, stepping forward bravely. "We wish to help you. The curse can be broken." Gormak's fiery head softened, eyes flickering with hope while the cold head still snarled but began to lower its gaze. The time had come. With the Crystal Heart glowing between them, an ancient magic awakened to heal what darkness had shattered. The Crystal Heart pulsed with a gentle light as Prince Alaric held it aloft. Its warmth spread through the cavern, filling every shadow with a soft glow. Gormak's fiery head lowered slowly, its ember-like eyes softening from fierce blaze to gentle warmth. The cold head, however, still growled quietly, but the harshness in its gaze began to melt away. Princess Seraphina stepped forward and raised her hands, weaving a spell taught to her by the ancient magic of the castle. Her voice was like a soothing melody, echoing through the cavern walls. "By the bond of heart and soul, heal what time has torn and stole. Light and shadow, cold and flame, restore the guardian and the pain." Zephyr neighed loudly, spreading his majestic wings wide as if adding his own power to the spell. The light from the Crystal Heart grew brighter, enveloping Gormak in a radiant aura. Suddenly, a brilliant burst of light filled the cavern, blinding and overwhelming. When the brilliance faded, the two-headed giant's form began to change. His massive body shrank slightly and his features softened. The two heads, once divided by fire and ice, seemed to merge into a single calm visage. Where fury and coldness ruled, now compassion and peace gleamed in his eyes. I am whole again," Gormak rumbled in a deep, gentle voice. "Thank you, Prince Alaric, Princess Seraphina, and Zephyr. You have freed me from a curse that has bound me for centuries. I misled my anger toward your kingdom, but now it is time to protect it once more." The prince stepped forward, offering his hand to the giant. "We forgive you, Gormak. Your strength is needed to guard our land, not to threaten it." Gormak grasped Alaric's hand with surprising gentleness. "Come, I will lead you safely through the mountains and show you the ancient secrets of this land." With their new ally, the kingdom's future seemed brighter than ever. Together, they returned to the castle at Silverleaf, where the people welcomed them with joy and relief. Princess Seraphina's magic, Prince Alaric's bravery, Zephyr's flight, and Gormak's healing had forged a bond that would restore peace to the kingdom for generations to come. And as the sun set behind the mountains, the prince and princess stood side by side on the castle's highest tower, watching over the land they loved, ready for whatever adventures the future might bring. With Gormak's curse lifted and peace restored to the kingdom, Silverleaf Castle blossomed like never before. The forests sang with renewed life, the rivers sparkled in the sunlight, and the people celebrated the harmony between humans and magical creatures. Prince Alaric and Princess Seraphina stood together beneath the blossoming trees of the castle garden. Zephyr, the magnificent flying horse, rested beside them, his silver wings glowing softly in the warm evening light. The two-headed giant, now the forest's wise guardian, patrolled the mountain borders with gentle vigilance. The prince spoke softly. "We set out alone, each of us hoping to bring hope to our kingdom. But together we have created something stronger: friendship, trust, and love." Seraphina smiled. "Our greatest power lies not in magic or might, but in unity. With Zephyr's wings carrying us forward, and Gormak's strength protecting our borders, we will face whatever comes with courage." News of their triumph spread far and wide, inspiring other kingdoms to embrace peace and kindness. Stories of the prince, the princess, the flying magic horse, and the two-headed giant became legends told at firesides across the land. Years passed, and under their joint rule, the kingdom of Silverleaf thrived in prosperity and joy. The castle's walls echoed not with fear, but with laughter, music, and celebration. One bright morning, as Zephyr soared high above the castle towers, Alaric and Seraphina stood hand in hand on the balcony, watching the horizon where sky met earth. Their hearts were full, knowing that their adventure, their love, and their courage had changed the course of their world forever. And so, the kingdom lived happily ever after, guarded by friendship and magic under the wings of hope.